Well, hi, hello, and how you doing out there in internet land? My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome to a snowy, frozen, freezing version of Front Porch Brunch. This thing we do on the weekends where we go back and review the news, we give our views, and we try to make it through this crazy thing that we call life. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. You will sometimes find me in social media known as the man with the plan. Sometimes I'm called the fine fella in the fedora. On occasion, I'm called the common man with common sense. But in this moment, as always, above all else, I am your host. We are on X. We are on Rumble. We are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So please, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to my channel on YouTube and on Rumble. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit the like button, leave a comment in the chat on both places. Also, help us out by sharing the link around to your friends. Man, we got a crowd settling in over there on Twitter. Woo! Hello, all you Tweety people. All right, Tweety people's not exactly the way to say it. How about you folks over there on X? Yeah, that makes you sound tough and impressive, which you are, and we're glad to have you here with us. Okay, can we all start singing the theme song for this morning? We're having a heat wave. We're having a heat wave. Temperatures rising. Ain't no denying we're having a heat wave. Good God, it's cold out there. Lord have mercy. Oh. Yes, I did. Drink. Right. When it comes to a heat wave, look, supposedly in my neck of the woods, the temperature come Monday or Tuesday is going to get like 34 degrees. You don't know how happy I will be to get to 34 degrees. It is crazy. Oh, my word. It's just nuts out there. Oh, it's so good to see all you guys. Been a little while since I've been here, which I will explain momentarily. But so glad to have y'all in the audience. And man, we got a really good crowd settling in. YouTube's got quite a crowd. Twitter's got quite drink. I said Twitter. X has quite a crowd building up. So we're glad to have y'all here this morning. All right, let's see who's in the house. We got quite a few folks coming. And by the way, you folks over there on X this morning, don't be shy. Leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you and say hello to you and welcome you in as part of Fedora Nation. So yeah, in this case, Frozen Fedora Nation. But yeah, so yeah, let us know who you are and let's talk. And good morning, Miss Gypsy. As always, spreading the love and the happiness and the friendliness that is this little gathering. The bar is open on one side of the porch. Who needs a warm beverage? Perhaps a tiny bit of schnapps. Amen to that, sister. And I think I did see one request for a drink. Who was that? That's from Lana. I'll take hot chocolate with peppermint schnapps. That's not a bad idea, by the way. Not a bad idea at all. And good morning to you, my love. Let's see who else is here this morning. Well, I know the Wingnuts are assembled. Oh, my Lord. Yes. WWG1's in the house, and you know what that means. Oh, my goodness. Z Highness is here. Mwah, good morning, baby. Glad to have you here with us, you fine, foxy thing, you. Let's see. Tiny Tesla is here. Mwah. Let's see. Are we having a show today, or am I saving that will grow? Oh, will you stop it? Just stop it. Man, the abuse, I say. Let's see. Who else is here? Let's see. And Robert Lowry's in the house this morning. Fist bump to you, my brother. Good morning. Glad to have you here with us. Oh, my goodness. Patay is in the house. Good morning, my dear. Glad to have you here with us. Oh, goodness me. Yes. Well, yeah, given the temperature, I tell you what, I am, yeah, exactly. Global warming my rear end. Well, you're not wrong, my friend. You're not wrong at all. Oh, my gosh. All right. So good to see you guys. All right. Let us start with some explanations, as I feel I do owe you guys some what the heck is going on. So, I had announced that I'd be traveling to Cincinnati to see the lady, and brunch would be postponed to like Monday or Tuesday of now last week. Well, the roads got so bad I couldn't get back to my domicile until Tuesday evening. So I thought, okay, fine. We'll do a live stream, Wednesday. We'll do a live stream Wednesday night, and now give me some time to catch up on the news, see what's going on, and catch all that. So I got a phone call from a family member. It was Ma Trippett, by the way, who just turned 89 years old on Thursday. So if y'all, not that she is ever gonna get out on social media, but my dear, lovely, saintly mother turned 89 years old on Thursday. So I will pass on any happy birthday wishes that you would like to share. Well, she wasn't feeling well Wednesday evening, and I thought, okay, well, I'll just pop up there and see what I can do to help out. And it got later and later in the evening. Finally, I just realized we're not going to make it back in time, so I just postponed the live stream, and now here we are. So we are back. We're here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Oh my gosh. And yeah, we're gonna settle in for a good little conversation. There is all kinds of stuff breaking loose, and we're gonna get into it. But before we do, and for those of you out there on X who are following us for the very first time, and you've come to this live stream, we do a little section of the show called the Merry Memes. And for those of you who've never been here before, the Merry Meme section of the show are those wonderful memes that are provided by our audience members that are relevant to some of the topics we're going to be talking about today. They are just, in some cases, just flat funny. Okay, they're not even political; they're just funny. And I always encourage, as you can see from down here, there is my social media handle on X. So if you have a meme or even an idea for a story you want to contribute or anything else, I'm sorry, she's fine. She is fine. She's doing well. She's getting better. There's this weird sinus thing going around in my neck of the woods right now. I don't know what it's like where you guys are at, but I mean, Wednesday night, her nose was just running like a faucet. It's just terrible. So finally, her doctor called in something. I went and picked it up for her and took dinner and everything else. But yeah, she's doing better. And like all of us, she's waiting for the weather to thaw out. But to get back to what I was saying, if you have a meme or a story idea or something you want to talk about, hey, hit me up right here. Yeah, here. Hit me up right there. The host reserves the right to use or not use what you send in, but more often than not, what you do send in makes its way onto the screen. So take a shot, see what happens. And with that said, let's do some memes. Then we're going to get into a lot of stories because I know folks are like, they're wanting to talk about this Don Lemon thing. They want to talk about the Fed chair. They want to talk about Minnesota, the Epstein file drop from yesterday. Good grief. I'll never forget. Ma Trippett once said to me, aren't you worried about you're not going to have stuff to talk about? I'm like, are you kidding me? First of all, I have the gift for gab. Second of all, there is news dropping all the time. There is always stuff to be talking about. So yeah. All right. With that said, this weather is making everybody just a little bit more than cranky. And I got to tell you something. People are starting to get very touchy when it comes to the subject of weather, anything else, such like that. Matter of fact, with Groundhog Day coming up, man, let me tell you something. The expectations on Punxsutawney Phil are just getting ridiculous. I feel sorry for the poor old guy. I mean, it's all on. I mean, do you see your shadow? Do you not see your shadow? But man, with the way the weather's been lately, I just say this for old Punxsutawney Phil. When he sticks his head up out of the ground, he better be seeing whatever he's got to see to guarantee the world that we're going to have good weather here shortly. I'll tell you what, some people just gonna like, this is gonna get nasty. Just get nasty. Now wait a minute. No. We're not doing that. Now just stop it, Robert. Stop it. Look, he can't help what happens when he sticks his head up out of the ground, okay? Y'all just, I'll tell you what. Any memes you send may be held against you in the court of front porch mockery. That's true. That is, oh, folks, that is so true. Yeah. You folks out on X, I just be warned right now. If you do choose to contribute a meme, understand this. We do reserve the right to laugh at you because God knows the audience is definitely laughing at the host. So I'm just saying. Oh. Amen, sister. Amen. Oh my goodness. The poor old Poxitani Phil. And it's not just how we treat each other. We're having like our own individual dreams of, what warm weather will mean. However, I should point out some of these dreams about warm weather, be careful what you dream of. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check this out.
There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was a Billy O.T. The winds blew harder, bowed it down below, my bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. What will we do with a drunken sailor? What will we do with a drunken sailor? What will we do with a drunken sailor? In the morning, put him in the brig until he's sober. Put him in there.
Yeah, let that be a lesson to you, folks. Sailing is not everything that it's cracked up to be. That's all I'm saying. Oh boy, yeah, I'm probably gonna get hit by YouTube for that one, but oh well. What else is new? But yeah, so for all y'all wishing for warm weather and you're thinking about sailing away on those wonderful little boats out there, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Now see, here's a good example. Z Highness is listening to the host and she's saying, hey, he wants a meme, I'll give him a meme. A 3 hour. Yeah. Sailing is not all it's cracked up to be. Oh, goodness me. Hang on. Z Highness is weighing. Oh, girl, you are wrong in so many different ways, but this is funny. I gotta hang on. I gotta copy this one because we're gonna. That's just too good. Oh my goodness. Z Highness, you are rotten and we love you for it. We are here for it, dear. We'll use that one when appropriate. Oh, by the way, have you guys heard about the new game that's been invented to help pass the time during, these times when we're all in the house and, we're all bundled up. We're trying to keep from getting cold. We're trying to stay warm. Families have come together and invented a new family game to help them pass the time. And it goes like this. Rock, paper, scissors, flashback. Oh, this looks a little rough. I don't know, man. I just... Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. Was that one too soon? Maybe, Yeah, so I don't know. If someone invites me to play this game, I'm not so sure that I'm down with that. So I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. And the folks over on X are like, oh my God, these people are just brutal. Hey, you stepped into this live stream. I cannot control how you react to it. We're just here to have fun as much as we can. Anyway. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. I can't disagree with you. Yeah. Oh, we got some votes on this question. Okay. Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. Oh, by the way, I was going to save this for a little bit later, but since it's sort of come up in the rotation of memes, did you guys hear the story about Ilhan Omar's winery? Yeah, now here's one that's just straight up crazy. Now, I've got to kind of get the story. I kind of got to get the story straight on this one. But goodness. Oh, hey, some people just popping me some stuff right now. Pate, you are real girl, you're on fire. Well, yeah, firecrackers are always yeah, the Phantom Winery. For those of you not familiar with this story, apparently Ilhan Omar had a winery. And on her winery in 2023, it was valued at just $15,000. And then about a year later, it's valued at $5 million. Now, these are from, financial disclosure statements that members of Congress have to give every year. However, with this winery, there's no phone number listed. There's no physical address. The social media for it's gone dark. Nobody can find anything about this. And there's no wine. And somebody brought up a really good point. A Muslim-owned winery. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, fellas. Now, Ilhan Omar has responded to this, by the way. Okay, she has responded. As a matter of fact, she has recently published pictures of her at the winery. Have you guys out on social media heard about this yet? Yeah, she has published pictures of her at the winery doing winery sort of things. Matter of fact, we've got one of them because we are influential members of the media. And for those of you who have not seen what the winery looks like, ladies and gentlemen, here is Ilhan Omar, I guess, on the front 40 acres of the winery. Look, looks perfectly legit to me. I don't know, man. I don't know. It looks like a perfectly legitimate winery. I don't know why everybody's making such a fuss about this. I do not know why everybody is making such a fuss. Oh, Patty. Look, it's bad. It's bad, Pate. It is bad enough that the audience must suffer under the jokes of the host. But really, you're going to do that to him? I love you, girl, but still. Oh, yeah. Now, Robert, see, there you go again, using your common sense and asking questions. Now, you got to stop that stuff. I keep telling you, you keep doing this sort of thing, and your head's going to hurt. Oh, my goodness. WWG1 says an important question. Do they smash the grapes with their feet like in the old days? Think about that for a moment. Listen, it's quite obvious that oh man. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait. What's this? Fake investment firm? I have not. Okay, now I will confess, I have not heard about this yet. At Gypsy, as always, do me a favor. If you and don't kill yourself doing it, But if you got something real quick on this, I'd like to see it because we're going to get into this whole Elon Omar and the fake and the attack thing here shortly. So y'all hang loose on that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, Robert. No, 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 no. Listen, I don't want to think about that. That's just not. Oh my gosh. You're just awful. Just awful. Now, we've often said, and this is particularly for those folks out there on X who are stopping by for the first time, we have always said that this live stream has many different functions, and one of them is critical thinking. With that in mind, we will sometimes post a meme that I don't really need to say anything to introduce it, and I've got one of them right here. As a matter of fact, this is more in the way of a philosophical question. So, folks, just consider the following. Imagine being so scared of an ICE agent that you find a way to be at their exact location all the time. I tell you what. There is a lot to chew on where that meme is concerned. Just a lot to chew on. Whoa, my gosh. Hello, sir. Glad to have you in the house. Long time no see. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Glad to have you here. We raise a glass in your general direction. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Scott Awesome is in the house. Give him a golf clap, please. Goodness me, goodness me. Oh, my gosh. Glad to have you here, sir. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. All right. Yeah. Everybody's so scared of all these ICE agents. Well, then how come all these people manage to be at the exact right place where they are all the time? I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, and by the way, speaking of philosophical statements that make you think, here's another one for you. Try this on for size. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Y'all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But there, believe it or not, there are some truly positive things that are coming out of all this stuff that's happening in Minnesota. And if nothing else, meme makers all around the world are being given infinite amounts of material. I mean, I tell you what, if I am a regular meme maker, I've got stuff to go on for probably a good 3-4 months just coming out of Minnesota. It is crazy up there. I mean, these meme makers are sitting in front of their computer monitors going, I mean, they're just waiting for the next news story to drop so they can make a meme out of it. Crazy, crazy indeed. All right. Let's see. You know, in these troubled times, as we're all going through what we're going through, we're trying to figure out, is there a way for all of us to band together and self-identify? In other words, if there was one, I don't know what you call it, badge of honor that we could wear, and then people immediately see it and they know, hey, I know where you're coming from, and I am with you. I stand in solidarity with you. We've been trying to figure it out. Well, folks, somebody has finally come up with that badge. And you know what? I think this thing needs to be put into production immediately. I mean, the Daily Shit Show Survivors Club. I don't know who came up with this idea, but this is just so great. Absolutely great. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And hang on a second, because one of my favorite people has stopped by this morning, and I got to check on something with him. I got to see where he's at. Hang on. Whoo-wee! Oh, my goodness. Yep. Here, all right. You Oak-hewn juggernaut, how are you? Well, you rugged Canadian, you handsome rugged Canadian, I'm doing fine. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here, okay, this guy right here, 1,000, almost 250 subscribers on his YouTube channel. If you have friends that are looking for laughs, for serious conversation, for just basic silliness, this is the guy you need to refer them to. Third Railify is without question one of the best channels on Rumble. He is growing like his channel is growing like a weed. And you guys, if you're not subscribed to him, check him out. You folks out there on X this morning, go over to Rumble, find Third Railify, and give this guy a sub. Let's get, matter of fact, let's get him over 1,250. He's almost there. He just needs a little bit of help getting there. So yeah, let's get him over 1,250 and just absolutely make it work. Absolutely, because he's like so close. But yeah, let's make this thing happen for him. So Sean, a tip of the hat to you, sir. And well, you're not wrong there. On we love their, and yes, YouTube is gay. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the daily shit show, Survivors Club. We need this patch. Hey, man, I love your work. I don't always get the chance to watch you, but man, you are absolutely killing it out there. So yeah, folks, by all means, give this guy a sub on Rumble. Give him a sub. He is absolutely killing it. All right. Oh, by the way, hang on. I gotta shift something down here. Is that it? No. Yeah, here's the one we want. Right. Not that one. Not that one. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. I just had to move some things around. And by the way, I mentioned a few minutes ago that that families are trying to find ways to, survive the cold weather, particularly the boredom in your house. Well, they've come up with a new game for families to play. They've also invented a new snack. I don't know if you guys have heard about this or not, but hey, kids are absolutely everywhere are going for this new snack that's come out, bananas and rice, especially in the Somali size. So, if you have not seen this in your local grocery store, be on the lookout because this is coming. This is absolutely coming. So, we will thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. I've got to get back on there sometime soon. Well, I don't know how much arsenic is in that snack. I couldn't even begin to tell you on that one. I don't know how much arsenic is in it. Good Lord. Anyway, terrible, I say. But anyway, be on the lookout for that in your local grocery store. So that's coming around sometime soon. And by the way, did you guys hear about the negotiations that are going on? The negotiations that are going on between the Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill right now. Apparently, the Democrats laid down a pretty stern marker where the Republicans are concerned. They basically have threatened them with this: either vote for what we propose, or they will destroy America. Absolutely crazy. Oh my goodness me. They're tough up there, those Democrats. They are tough. Uh, all right. Got to thank WWG1. Got to thank TBA. Got to thank everybody, frankly. I mean, Lord have. Well, hang on. I gotta be totally fair here. Give me 1 second. What is that? Yes. Hang on. And we've got one more meme, and this is going to lead us into our first story of the morning. What do you mean call my sponsor? Well, yeah, I need to actually. Yeah. True indeed. There's one more meme, and I believe this is provided by Miss Patty. And it's going to lead into our first story. Did you guys hear about what happened to Don Lemon? Yeah, buddy. Yeah. I'm relapsing. No, I'm not relapsing. I beg your pardon, sir. Oh my goodness. Anyway, this is provided by Miss Patty, and that leads us into our first story of the morning. And I've got mixed feelings about this. I really do. Now, as you guys know, I have no great love for Don Lemon. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't hate the man. Not at all. But Don Lemon to me is just he's a hemorrhoid. He's just a hemorrhoid in general. He really is. There is no amount of preparation H that's going to relieve the irritation and burning you feel at the thought or mention of Don Lemon's name. Okay. He is the journalistic equivalent of a hemorrhoid. He's a pain in your butt. That said, what's happened to him recently, in one sense, did he get what karma thought was appropriate? Yeah. Is it legally going to stick? I don't know. Should it stick legally? Well, given what they're charging him with, I'm not so sure. But anyway, let's get into it. From NBC News. Don Lemon arrested for covering protest at Minnesota church. Now, before we start, that headline is a little bit misleading, at least from my perspective, okay? And I'll explain why here in a minute. He was doing a little bit more than covering a protest, okay? We'll get into that momentarily. Attorney General Pam Bondi said Friday that Lemon and 3 others were arrested in connection with the protest, which she described as a coordinated attack on City Church in St. Paul. Article by Ryan Riley, Matt Levides, Chloe Melas, and Dennis Romero. We have the following. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon was arrested on Friday and accused of violating federal civil rights law in connection with his coverage of a protest at a Minnesota church earlier this month. Lemon was arrested along with 3 others and charged with conspiracy against the rights of religious freedom at a place of worship and injuring, intimidating, and interfering with the exercise of the right of free religious freedom at a place of worship. He was released on a personal recognizance bond on Friday and appeared outside of a downtown federal courthouse several minutes later. Quote, I have spent my entire career covering the news, he said. I will not stop now. There is no more important time than right now at this very moment for a free and independent media that shines a light on the truth and holds those in power accountable. Pity you didn't feel that way when Joe Biden was president, but yeah, okay, we'll see what that happens. The arrest of one of the country's most recognizable journalists. Now, wait a minute. Hang on now. Why do I get a feeling that we're slapping each other's back with that comment? Really? Is Don Lemon one of the most easily recognizable journalists in America? Seriously? Anyway. most recognizable journalist is the latest development in the federal government's immigration crackdown in Minneapolis, in which 2 U.S. citizens have been shot and killed. A federal grand jury seated in Minnesota returned the indictment on Thursday against Lemon and 8 co-defendants. Lemon, 59, and 3 other co-defendants, Traherne Jean Cruz, Georgia Fort, and Jamel Liddell Lundy, were arrested Friday in connection with what Attorney General Pam Bondi described in a post on X as a coordinated attack on City's church in St. Paul, Minnesota. 3 others had been previously arrested on federal charges and then released by a judge after the Trump administration tried to keep them detained. A federal magistrate found that the Trump administration lacked probable cause to arrest Lemon and several other defendants under a federal statute that a top Justice Department official conceded had never been used in the context of a protest at a church before. 2 of the people whose names appear on the indictment do not appear to have been taken into federal custody. Demonstrators had gathered at a Minneapolis church on January 18th because they said its pastor works for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The indictment alleges that Lemon attended a briefing by protesters ahead of the event and that he openly characterized the upcoming protest as one involving civil disobedience. Prosecutors said he kept the church location a secret until live coverage. Lemon was arrested by the FBI and Homeland Security investigations in Beverly Hills at approximately midnight, according to a federal warrant issued in another district. His defense attorney, Abby Lowell, said in an earlier statement that federal agents took him into custody in Los Angeles, where he was covering the lead up to Sunday's Grammy Awards. Quote, instead of investigating the federal agents who killed 2 peaceful Minnesota protesters, the Trump Justice Department is devoting its time, attention, and resources to this arrest, and this is the real indictment of wrongdoing in this case. This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. One of Lemon's other attorneys, Marilyn Bednarski, said in court that he plans to plead not guilty. All right, let's talk about this. NBC, from my perspective, okay, yeah, he's 59 years old. He's 59 years old. And before we really dive into this, let's see what's going on in chat, because y'all are dropping some really good questions. Small Time, welcome in, Small Time. Glad to have you here with us. Would he have done this in a mosque? I don't think so. Now, everybody, you're saying, now, those of you out there on X, and you're saying, well, what exactly did he do? Well, we've got the video, okay? Some of it. Matter of fact, I think we've got 2 different clips of it here. Yeah, we do, as a matter of fact. Don Lemon, maybe about, 2 weeks ago now, guys? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on the date. About, say 2 weeks ago, was doing some coverage up in Minneapolis, and most people have seen where he was trying to interview the pastor in the church while these protesters were coming in. The protesters were there because they said that they had gotten word that the pastor of that particular church was in cahoots with Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. Okay. So Don Lemon's up there covering this, but he does a little bit more than cover this. Now, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, here's some video prior to going to the church. You guys make up your mind.
Into Minneapolis a little bit ago, and did some reconnaissance on the ground, speaking to an organization there that's gearing up for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together, diverse community. If you see this, when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we were like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? Saw the American flag or whatever, but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. and it's Takima Armstrong, and she has been doing this since George Floyd, Dante Wright, and others, where they surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account. And so that's what we're doing here. And then after we do this operation, you'll see it live. And these operations are surprise operations. Again, can't tell you where.
Now, that's some of the video. That's not all of it, by the way. That's about 1 minute's worth of it. There's other pieces of it out there, okay? But he goes into the church, and some of you guys have seen the interview. Oh, Miss Pate, thank you for becoming a new member of the channel. We do appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Greatly appreciated. But yeah, he goes to this church, and people have seen the interview that he's trying to do with one of the pastors of the church. And it's a very uncomfortable interview because, I mean, uncomfortable for any obvious reasons. You got protesters streaming through the front door, chanting. They're breaking up a church service. Don Lemon's got a microphone on this guy's face. He obviously doesn't want to talk to Don Lemon. Gives this interview. Now, here's one you may not have seen. Here are here are congregants coming out of the church, and Don Lemon's waiting at the door. Watch this.
What do you think of this?
There's a harmless Christian here that wants to praise the Lord with my son, and now I got to go home. I'm sorry that you guys are so angry.
I'm just chronicling. I'm not with the group.
I'm just chronicling. Oh, I'm not with the group. Oh, no, don't mind me. I'm a journalist. Yeah. All right, let's go back to this. There's some more of it.
What do I have to say?
Can you understand why they're angry?
I don't understand any of this because I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man who loves the Lord and is a good father. This is what we look forward to, is coming, being with our family and praising Jesus, and that's not something that we have to run away from. So this is kind of a bad day for us. But, we're going to heaven, so that's the best news we got.
Do you understand that some of these folks feel voiceless?
I don't understand because right now I'm so upset right now. I don't really have I'm thirsty and I can't think very clearly. So what I want to do is just say, we love you. My son and I love you guys. And
I'm a journalist. They're activists.
No, wait a minute. Hold it right there, Don. Where does it cross the line between you chronicling what's happening, okay, and you being a part of the story you claim that you're chronicling? Okay. I mean, you see, this is my problem with this, and we'll get back to the rest of this video in a second. There's a little bit of a left. I got a problem with this. See, I mean, and you could, in the previous clip that I played, we're here with these activists and they're rising up, and you can hear it in his commentary. He's proud of these people. He's not even trying to hide which side of this issue he's on. Okay, which fine. I would rather have you be honest about your ideological beliefs if you're going to practice, quote, journalism, however you want to define that these days. I would much rather you be upfront with me and tell me what you are. If you're a lefty, okay, you're a lefty journalist. Fair enough. I can live with that. Because here's the irritating truth. There is no person practicing journalism alive that is going to absolutely be able 100% to keep their biases out of their reporting. Now, there have been some people down through the years who are very good at what they do. Okay? They're just straight reporting. And you guys have got names. I got names. We could sit here and list them off all day long. Okay? But by and large, we're past that point. All right? We're past that point. Don Lemon's not even trying to, but he's still trying to hold that pretense. I'm just here chronicling what's happening. I'm just a man of the people, just trying to determine what the masses are saying out there. Oh, come on, Don. Give me a break. Give me an absolute break. Oh, and hello, Lisa Murphy. Lurking on the fringe of the porch. Okay, so what if we and our independent journalists do the same ambush tactics? Oh, the uproar. Exactly. Exactly. If you or I did what Don Lemon did up Minneapolis, Don Lemon be the first one in line screaming to clap us in irons. You watch. Now, Kwan, I don't necessarily disagree with this. I think Pam Bondi's an idiot anyway. Okay, she's an idiot and just horrible at her job. And I don't necessarily disagree with you on that point. This is going to wind up making a martyr out of Don Lemon. Okay, especially the way she charged him. Okay, so I don't necessarily disagree with that. Anyway, let's get back to the rest of this clip. There's not much of it left. It's got like maybe another 45 seconds, maybe 50 seconds. Anyway, back to it.
Simplest thing we can say is that we love you guys.
What do you mean, you guys?
Well, whoever's here in this house.
Okay.
We don't distinguish between Christian and non-Christian. We love everyone. We want everyone to come to heaven.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. We want folks to go to heaven. And if we need to talk about these things, then I mean, this isn't the time for that, really. I mean,
But don't you think until we go to heaven, or if you believe in that there should be some sort of peace here on earth, and that people should have agency, and we should.
Wait, what do you mean by agency? What is that supposed to mean? They should have agency. What is that? What is that?
Shouldn't be beating people up off the street,
that's just-
and we should be abiding by the Constitution.
I think that's just a little bit loaded for
How are we not abiding by the Constitution by enforcing our own immigration law? Again, explain that to me, Don. I don't get it.
me right now. What you're doing.
Why so?
Well, I don't want to interview right now. I don't want to interview. I just want to
Okay.
tell you guys I love you. I don't need to interview right now because I want to be with my son. It's Sunday. It's time for rest and for renewal. I would like to answer your question. But I just can't right now.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. So that's the clip. This is what Don Lemon was doing to people. Okay. This is what he was doing. Now, what they charged him with, as I understand, they charged him with a violation of the FACE Act. And for those of you not familiar with it, let me see if I can pull up something here real fast. The FACE Act, and I don't know why he was charged with this, because this I do not understand. The Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances, or FACE Act, is a federal law signed by Bill Clinton in 94 in response to escalating violence against abortion providers, including the 93 murder of Dr. David Gunn. The FACE Act makes it a federal crime to use force, threats of force, or physical obstruction to interfere with individuals seeking reproductive rights. It also protects access. Now, it also protects access to places of religious worship, prohibiting similar acts that obstruct or intimidate exercising their right to religious freedom. Okay, then I might understand why they did that. And key prohibited activities: blocking entrances or exits to clinic or house of worship, intimidating or threatening patients, staff, or worshipers, damaging or destroying property, trespassing. Okay. Protected speech. The law explicitly preserves First Amendment rights, allowing protests, prayer, carrying signs, distributing literature, and shouting outside clinics or places of worship. Okay, now, here's why. But now wait a minute. Now, wait a minute, though. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Let me pop this back up here because I want to ask a question. Okay. Did Don Lemon block anybody from going in to the church? Well, no. People obviously got into the church. Intimidating or threatening worshipers. Now, okay, maybe. But how are you going to make that stick? Did anybody damage or destroy property? Did Don Lemon damage or destroy property? Well, according to reports, no, he hasn't. repeated trespassing or stalking related to these facilities. Yeah, trespassing, no. Stalking, maybe. See, this is my problem. That's what I'm saying. I think Don Lemon is a horse's ass. I mean, I'm sorry, he is. I got no other way of saying it. I think he's a lousy journalist, whatever that's defined as these days. I think he's a lousy journalist. And I think, he's a horse's ass. He's a hemorrhoid. On the other hand, do I think that he's guilty of what he's being charged with? If he was being charged with being a hemorrhoid, he by all means, he's guilty of that. Is he necessarily guilty of violations of the FACE Act? I don't know. I don't know that you can make it stick. Now, if that's the case, okay, then you can make it. Then you might be able to make this stick. Well, okay, so one of these judges who said no was a clerk for W, appointed by W, and a clerk for Scalia. Okay. Oh, well, I'd say you're probably right, TBA. Okay, accessory. All right. If he was charged as an accessory, okay, maybe. Guys, I'll be honest with you, and I'm no lawyer. I could always be wrong. But I just don't see where this is going to stick. I don't see a jury convicting him on this. I don't see a judge putting him in jail on this. And Sean, you bring up a very valid point. Consider for a moment it's not supposed to stick. Pam Bondi gets to charge him, throw some red meat to MAGA. Lemon gets to walk, no harm, no foul. There's always that possibility. I mean, I don't think Pam Bondi's that smart, to be perfectly honest, but I could see somebody constructing such an idea. All right, now, small time, this is a fair point. Don Lemon could have at least warned the churchgoers or law enforcement there could be trouble, and he didn't do it. I can see that. That makes sense. That does make sense. Okay. But okay, it's not always about making stick. The process is the punishment at times. Fair enough. That's fair. And I agree with you. But let me ask you this question. And does anybody really think that the process of him being arrested, getting bailed out, yada, 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 is that going to stop him? Look, do not get me wrong. I do not want to see any one person spend one scintilla of a second in jail for anything that they don't deserve to be. Okay. And by the same token, if you've done wrong and it can be proven in a court of law, by all means, you should receive maximum punishment for it, as far as I'm concerned. But I don't see this happening. The only way some of these people, the Don Lemons, some of these activists, however you want to define that, the only way they're going to be made to stop is just flat put them in jail. And if you're going to do it, you better make it stick. Well, yeah, there you go too. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this, but honestly, if Don Lemon gets one day's worth of sentencing out of this, found guilty and goes to jail for anything, I will be shocked. Absolutely shocked. I really will. I just don't, like I said, did he get in one sense what karma decided he deserves? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. If you're going to be a hemorrhoid, then you ought to get karma's version of preparation H. and maybe him getting arrested and spending some hours in jail or whatever, that's karma's definition of, how you treat a hemorrhoid. So yeah, does it deserve that much? Oh, absolutely. Legally, should it stick? I'm not so sure. I'm really not, especially with how he was charged. So we'll see. Anyway, all right. For all you folks hanging out on Rumble, for all you folks hanging out on X, for all you folks hanging out on YouTube, thank you for being here this morning. We're so glad to have you. It's just about 11:30 in the morning, Eastern. And for those of you popping by for the first time, you've found your way to this live stream. My name is Brian Trippett. I am known in social media as the Front Porch Conservative, and this is Chatting on the Porch. We get together on Saturday mornings and talk about the news. And it's a very lively conversation. We've got all kinds of opinions, points of view, everything else. We're not going to stop you from speaking. May not agree with what you say, but you know what? We're going to respect your right to say it. If that is your cup of tea or your brand of hot chocolate schnapps or what have you, well then, hey, why don't you subscribe to my channel on YouTube and Rumble? And while you're at it, share the link around to your friends. Let them find out about this wonderful little exchange we have here. And hit the thumbs up button this morning. Leave a comment in chat on Rumble and YouTube. And while you're at it, just go crazy out there. Do what you got to do. Hit the bell for notifications. We want to make sure you're always up on what's going on. Okay. So we've talked about old sour lemons. Let's get into Trump's announcement yesterday about his pick for who's going to succeed Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve. Now, I say all that, and probably some of y'all out there are rolling your eyes going, oh my God, this is such a boring topic. Boring, yes. Inconsequential to your life? Oh, no. Because the chair of the Federal Reserve, although they don't by themselves control the interest rates that you pay on your loans and your credit cards and stuff like that, they do have an enormous amount of power, unfortunately. And until the day comes we can abolish the Federal Reserve, which frankly we ought to, because the Federal Reserve is an unconstitutional body, the person who is the chair of the Fed is pretty powerful in terms of what happens in your economy, your personal economy. And it is no great secret that Donald Trump despises Jerome Powell. The irony in that is Donald Trump was the one that put Jerome Powell in. Okay. Oh, no. Wait a minute. I didn't mean that as boring in terms of it has no impact. It has enormous impact. Okay. Enormous impact. But I'm just saying that to most people, they'd be like, oh my gosh, this topic is just so dry. There's nothing to it. Oh no, there's lots to it. So let me clarify that. Now, it's no secret that Donald Trump despises Jerome Powell. He thinks that Jerome Powell ought to be dropping interest rates. Ought to be dropping interest rates way more than what the Federal Reserve is. And which, by the way, the chair does not control the rates himself. There is a board of governors, and they vote on the question of whether to raise or lower interest rates. But the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board does have quite a bit of power. So everybody knows that Donald Trump does not like Jerome Powell. And as I said, the irony of that is Trump is the one that nominated Jerome Powell for the job. But Jerome Powell's term is coming to an end in May, and there's been a lot of speculation about who he's going to pick. Well, yesterday, Trump made the announcement, and as indicated, it had a lot of effects on the market. The stock market dropped. As WWG1 points out, the silver and gold markets took a serious dive, So, and again, in all fairness, you're right. Friday was the end of the month, clear out for shorts. Hundreds of thousands of contracts were being margined out of existence. Yeah. So, yeah, there's all kinds of factors that went into what happened in the markets on Friday. Okay. All kinds of factors. As a matter of fact, if you didn't see it, let me see if I can find it real fast. One moment, please, because we are all about trying to give you, our listeners, the information that you need. You pop out to Yahoo Finance real fast. Yeah, just give you some examples here. Let's see. The S&P was down 30. Stock market was down 180. NASDAQ down 220. Gold was down like $600. Oy vey. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Silver was down almost $80. Crude oil was down 20. I mean, there's all kinds of reactions in the market. Okay. So Trump announces on Friday who he wants and wants to succeed Jerome Powell. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you at all. I don't understand this pick. Because the more I keep reading about this guy, the parts that I've read so far, the more I keep reading about this guy, the more I'm thinking to myself, but this is just Jerome Powell all over again. Because you got some people out there saying he's just terrible. And then you got some people saying, I mean, let's get into it. Let's just do that. From CNBC News, everything you need to know about Kevin Warsh, Trump's pick to lead the Federal Reserve. Article by Jeff Cox, we have the following. In his first stint at the Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh came to a central bank that was about to be asked to save the world. He returns now under very different circumstances, asked to serve a notoriously fickle president who will place significant but very different demands on him. Warsh indeed is a Fed veteran, serving during the critical period of 2006 to 2011 that led up and ultimately through the global financial crisis and the central bank's efforts to stabilize the economy. Appointed by President George W. Bush, Warsh was one of the youngest members ever to serve on the Board of Governors. While at the Fed, Warsh played an important role in the design and implementation of emergency lending programs aimed at stabilizing critical markets. Warsh also played a key role in helping devise the myriad programs aimed at rescuing the economy. One of those programs, developed separately at the Treasury Department, became known as the Troubled Asset Relief Program, or TARP, developed by Neil Kashkari, who is now the Minneapolis Fed president. However, Warsh emerged from the era as a Fed critic. He warned that large-scale asset purchases at near-zero benchmark interest rates ran the risk of distorting markets and undermining long-term price stability. While supporting the earlier efforts, Warsh voted against the second round of Fed bond buying, a program known as quantitative easing. Warsh was further criticized in the post-financial crisis Fed with going too far in monetary policy stimulus, contending that it is helping sow the seeds for further crises. In some respects, Donald Trump is appointing a Fed chair who may be less inclined to accommodate political pressure than Jerome Powell. Trump cited Warsh's extensive experience in announcing his appointment to the top Fed post Friday. Warsh is currently a distinguished visiting fellow at Stanford. Quote, on top of everything else, he is central casting, and he will never let you down, the president posted on Truth Social. Oh, does this sound familiar? Oh, man. Why do I get the bad feeling Trump is setting himself up again for just an aggravation? But anyway, let's read on a little bit. Warsh is a Stanford University graduate who earned his law degree from Harvard and ultimately married into the Lauder cosmetic family. Hold that thought, folks. We're coming back to that in just a second. No, not necessarily a tingling feeling up my leg, more like a sick feeling in my stomach. Oh no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying these guys. No, I'm with you. I'm just something for context. Let's see. Before joining the Fed, he worked in investment banking at Morgan Stanley and served in the George W. Bush White House as a special assistant to the president for economic policy. While positioning himself as a defender of Fed independence, Warsh also has criticized it for mission creep and told CNBC in an interview last year that the central bank needs regime change. Warsh made his misgivings known about the current Fed. Quote, "The credibility deficit lies with the incumbents that are at the Fed, in my view," he said during a July interview. "It's a position that could put him in an adversarial role at an institution where consensus building is key to policy implementation." Despite multiple missteps on policymaking, Chair Powell has largely been able to keep the Fed consensus together. However, in recent months, that has faltered, with each of the past several meetings featuring at least one or sometimes multiple dissidents. Warsh's appointment would mark a sharp philosophical shift from Powell's pragmatic, consensus-driven approach and signal a potential tightening of the Fed's tolerance for inflation and balance sheet expansion. He would simply fill the seat currently occupied by Stephen Mirren, whose term expires on Saturday. Mirren told CNBC on Friday that he would support the pick. All right, what are you guys saying about this? Let's see. Let us go to Gypsy says they say he is an inflation hawk and will not lower interest rates. I have heard this from a lot of people that this is Donald Trump setting himself up for absolute misery all over again. That Warsh is not gonna drop interest rates, which is Trump's biggest criticism of Jerome Powell and the current Federal Reserve Board, that they need to drop interest rates by, like, I think Trump, if he had his way about it, he'd drop by like another 2 full percentage points lower than where it is right now. So, we shall see. What else is being said here? Are we at the Warsh rinse and repeat stage of the Fed? It could very well be, my friend. Rescuing the banks, you mean? Yeah. Now, see, hold that thought, Kawan, because we're going to get to another article here in a minute. Let's see. I heard that you're going to rename Minneapolis New Mogadishu. May as well. And yes, hello, sir. Long time no see. Glad to have you. One of our other favorite crazy Canadians up there. Trump even admitted in his Davos speech that all of his picks have gone against their word to him. See, then why? Why are you even putting this guy on there? Anyway, I told Kawan to hold that thought. Here's an article from NPR. What economic experts think of Trump choice as Walsh for Federal Reserve chair. Let me enlarge this just a little bit for you guys. There we go. Make it easier to read. There we go. Donald Trump announced Friday he would nominate Kevin Warsh to be the next chair of the Federal Reserve, an independent agency that has been under pressure from the president to lower interest rates for the past year. If confirmed, Warsh would succeed Federal Chair Jerome Powell, a previous Trump nominee who has incurred the president's ire for not heeding his demands when Powell's term expires in May. One thing that people say about Warsh, he is a lawyer, not an economist. Like Powell, Warsh has a JD, not a PhD in economics. Powell was the first Federal Reserve chair in 30 years to not have a doctorate in economics. Quote, "The Fed's culture is PhD economists on top," said Aaron Klein, a senior fellow in economic studies at the Brookings Institution. "I think Powell was pretty deferential to what the professional staff economists' view was." All right. What else have we got? Quote, "Warsh is a serious guy with a long track record and deep experience. Warsh was on the federal board's interlocutor with the markets during the financial crisis." Gettr said that knowledge about financial markets is an important characteristic of a Fed chair because interest rate setting isn't easy. It's straightforward, but understanding the markets requires specialized expertise, which Gettr said he thinks Warsh has. Okay. Let's see. Now, here's to Gypsy's point. In the past, Warsh has been hawkish on interest rates, meaning like Powell, he was reluctant to lower them for fear of increasing inflation. But recently, he changed his tone on the subject. In an opinion piece in the Wall Street Journal in November, Warsh argued that inflation is a choice, blamed the Fed for not moving fast enough, and said the agency should lower rates. Warsh has been consistently in opposing the Fed's policy of quantitative easing or the large-scale buying of assets such as mortgages. Okay. Yeah, I know. Even saying his name. Yeah. And here, yeah, I agree, buddy. I agree. Yeah, I'd be nervous with this guy. Now, that's what mainstream media is talking about, okay? Here's some other points. For those of you folks out there who love Bitcoin, okay, apparently, Warsh is very pro Bitcoin. I've got an interview here, and we'll listen to some of it. Check this out.
You made reference to Bitcoin, and I thought I heard a little bit of condescension that people are buying Bitcoin and these things.
But doesn't it? Charlie Munger, this is 2 or 3 years before he died, Charlie Munger attacked Bitcoin. He called it evil, in part because it would begin to undermine the Fed's ability to manage the economy.
Or it could provide market discipline, or it could tell the world that things need to be fixed.
Bitcoin does not make you nervous.
Bitcoin does not make me nervous. I can hearken back to a dinner I had here in 2011 with someone who is another guest on your show. I won't say his name. I just did Mark Andreessen, who showed me the white paper. That was the original white paper. I wish I had understood as clearly as he did how transformative Bitcoin and this new technology would be. Bitcoin doesn't trouble me. I think of it as an important asset that can help inform policymakers when they're doing things right and wrong. It is not a substitute to the dollar. I think it can often be a very good policeman for policy. And if I were to speak more broadly to what did Charlie Munger and others perhaps have in mind, there is a proliferation of securities that go under all sorts of names. Many, if not most of them, are not worth what they might be being traded for. So what did Charlie say, and maybe his pal Warren say? There's the innovators, the imitators, and the incompetents. They're real innovators that are happening in and around that new technology. And what I would try to impart towards businesses and bankers is that the underlying technology that Mark showed me in that white paper, or tried to show me in that white paper, it's just software. It's just the newest, coolest software that will provide us an ability to do things that we could never have done before. Can the software be used for good and evil? Yes, both, like all software. Right. So I don't cast aspersions like that. If there's a final point, it's these technologies are being built here. I don't just mean on Stanford campus. I believe in the United States. And the world's most talented engineers from China and Europe and everywhere, they come to the United States even now to try to build this stuff. And my view is by building it here, that gives us an opportunity to be more productive and create something very special over the next decade.
Okay, so apparently he's got some great love for Bitcoin. We'll see. Now, if you're looking for good news about this guy, if you're looking for good news from this guy, that's the good news. He likes Bitcoin. Here's the stuff that people are finding very troubling. He's already in the Epstein files in connection with a St. Bart's Christmas event in 2010. He's the former steering committee member for the Bilderberg Group, and he is the son-in-law of Ronald Lauder, the former president of the World Jewish Congress, and is married to billionaire heiress Jane Lauder of Estee Lauder Cosmetics. So, I mean, I just, okay. Here's my gut reaction to this pick. And again, I am not an economist. I'm just a fellow that follows the news like you guys, and I just try to make my way through life. When I first heard about this pick, matter of fact, I got a phone call from my buddy Smiling Jack about this. Smiling Jack and I were talking the other day, and he asked me, he's like, well, what do you think? I was like, well, I can only come to one of three conclusions about Donald Trump and this pick for the Federal Reserve. Either A, Trump's gone senile. B, Trump's not senile, he's just dumb. Or C, he thinks he owes his multi-million-dollar contributors a lot of favors, and this is payback. I don't get why this guy. Now, again, I'm not there inside the White House. I'm not hearing the discussions. On his face, I'm thinking to myself, could we not have picked somebody else? The criticisms of this man, while he was a governor on the Federal Reserve Board, the criticisms were long and loud. People were like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not experienced. He's yada, yada, yada. Okay. Yeah, well, okay. So of the three options, you're saying Trump thinks he owes his $1 million contributors a lot of favors, and this is payback. Okay, you're saying C. Lisa Murphy saying C. Oh my goodness. Well, why wasn't Scott Bessent considered for chairing the Fed? I mean, not that I necessarily agree with Bessent on everything, but that I would have understood. You know. All right. So what is option D? Okay. Okay, so here's option D. Warsh is a bad dude. Trump wants him under his thumb. Keep your enemies closer. Oh, okay. There's that possibility. Well, yeah, okay. All right. That's why you don't pick Bessent. All right, fair enough. But I mean, I got a bad feeling this guy is going to be just like Powell. Trump's going to want interest rates lowered. He won't be able to get the board of governors to do it. And Trump's just going to be absolutely miserable. Plus, this guy's got a lot of, I think, baggage. The ties to Epstein don't help. Now, granted, does that mean I think that that Warsh is guilty of something just because his name comes up in connection with Jeffrey Epstein? No, not necessarily. But, again, I got a bad feeling about this. And I'm not trying to be negative Nelly here. It just, if your main reason for wanting to get Powell out of the job is you don't feel that he and the board of governors at the Fed are responsive enough as far as lowering interest rates, which works to the benefit of the American people, why are you putting someone in that everybody is not 100% sure is going to be more responsive than Powell already is? Doesn't it seem to me you're getting Jerome Powell version 2.0? I mean, I can think of a lot of conservative economists that you could have put in as chair of the Fed. That would have been a lot better than this guy. But, oh, really now? Really? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I tell you what. I've got to be so many things to so many people. Anyway. All right. It is, what time is it? 11:50 a.m. We got a big crowd joined in on Rumble. We got a big crowd joined in on X. We got a big crowd joined in on YouTube. Thank all you guys for being here. It has been absolutely a joy to have you guys here. It's been a little while since we've done one of these for various reasons. And if you're here and you're like, who is this guy? What the heck is going on here? What are all they talking about? Well, first of all, let me introduce myself, particularly for those of you folks out there on X. My name is Brian Trippett, and in social media, I'm known as the Front Porch Conservative. I've got a channel on YouTube. I've got a channel on Rumble. I've got my my live feed on X. This live stream is known as Front Porch Brunch. We get together on the weekends and we talk about things going on in the news. And as you can tell from just the comments that are being made so far, we've got a wide variety of everything. We got people, we got everybody. If you're a lefty out there and you're saying to yourself, man, I don't want a bunch of right. Hey, you can say whatever you like. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to agree with you. And by the same token, you don't have to agree with us, or we don't have to agree with you, but you are allowed to say what you like to say here. So if that sort of thing is your cup of tea, well, why don't you go and subscribe to my channel on YouTube and on Rumble, and follow me on social media. Follow me on X. While you're at it, hit the thumbs up button on YouTube and Rumble this morning, and also leave a comment and chat. It really does help push this live stream out in the algorithm. And oh my goodness, thank you very much, Miss Pate, for the super sticker. That is greatly appreciated. Thank you, my love. You are very, very generous this morning. My goodness, my goodness. Yeah. And by the way, I don't necessarily ask for it all the time, but if you wish to drop some coin in my fedora, well, that's not going to hurt my feelings either. Anyway, we love you guys. We're glad you're here this morning. All right. Let us change topics just a little bit. And like I said, there's always something going on. Yesterday, and why? Well, I know why they did it. It was done on it's Take Out Your Trash Day. The Justice Department decided to release more of the Epstein files. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hundreds of thousands, millions of documents, hundreds of thousands of pictures were released yesterday. And boy, oh boy, there's some, now again, people are combing through this stuff right now. There are folks out there who, for different reasons, and I'm not going to sit here and disparage anybody's reasonings for doing it, but for different reasons are, going through these documents. And some of these folks have followed the Epstein story for years. And like I said, I'm not going to disparage their reasons. I mean, they have their reasons for doing it. I'm not going to judge them for why they're doing it. But they are going through all these documents. And even with just a cursory glance, some of the things that are coming out in these documents, a lot, as I've always said when it comes to the Epstein files, a lot of things have been suspected. A lot of things have been known. Now we're getting confirmation one way or another of either suspicions that we've had or proof of things that we have known. That's probably the best way to say it. Now, even with that, the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein are not happy with what was released yesterday. Matter of fact, here's the statement they released. Quote, this latest release of Jeffrey Epstein files is being sold as transparency, but what it actually does is expose the survivors. Once again, survivors are having their names and identifying information exposed, while the men who abused us remain hidden and protected. This is outrageous. As survivors, we should never be the ones named, scrutinized, or re-traumatized while Epstein's enablers continue to benefit from secrecy. This is a betrayal of the very people this process is supposed to serve. Virginia Roberts Giuffre alone reported many abusers connected to Epstein's network, yet the public still does not have the full truth about who enabled him, who participated in his exploitation, and who has been shielded for years. Hundreds of women have come forward with additional reports like hers. The scale of this failure is staggering and indefensible. The Justice Department cannot claim it is finished releasing files until every legally required document is released and every abuser and enabler is fully exposed. We need to hear directly from the Attorney General herself when she appears before the House Judiciary Committee on February 11th. Survivors deserve answers, and the public deserves the truth. This is not over. We will not stop until the truth is fully revealed about every perpetrator is finally held accountable. As we have always said, this is not about politics. We hope Democrats and Republicans will stand with survivors and continue to demand the full release of the Epstein files. We look forward to hearing from the Attorney General on February 11th. And it lists the signers to this document. So they're not happy about it. They're not happy and totally understand, Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. Can't disagree with you there, Lisa. And on this point, I got a feeling you're right, but I really hope you're wrong. Oh, they should be. Those two should be fired for a number of different reasons. On that, my friend, we absolutely agree with each other. So, what was in some of what was released yesterday? Well, one thing that wasn't found, or I should say was that wasn't found, was proof that Donald Trump was somehow involved with Epstein beyond just a cursory at the edges. Here's an email to a gentleman named Michael Wolff, who's a journalist from Epstein himself, and he says, redacted name, worked at Mar-a-Lago. Trump knew of it, came to my house many times during that period. The testimony of the houseman, John Alessi, confirmed it. Trump, never got a massage. So, again, more evidence is coming out about Epstein, and we're finding out Trump did not engage in any activity that was untoward or inappropriate, which, by the way, guess what? That's what we've all known and suspected was the case. But Trump mishandled the release of this so badly that history is going to wind up proving him right. He had nothing to do with Epstein, and he won't get the credit for it. What will Donald Trump get credit for Jeffrey Epstein? That he helped continue the cover-up. That's where Trump's going to be remembered. He covered it up. And on it will go. Now, we did find out that, as I mentioned a little moment ago, the newly nominated Federal Reserve Chairman, Kevin Warsh, is mentioned in a heavily redacted email sent to Jeffrey Epstein by an unknown individual. Warsh's name appears as a possible attendee at a party where children could have been harmed. That email lists St. Bart's as a possible location for the gathering, an island long associated with Jeffrey Epstein's social circle in the Caribbean. Now, here's one for you. And let me start.
I was so young.
Anybody know this guy? That's Prince that is alleged picture of Prince Andrew. Why is Prince Andrew on all fours, sprawled out over a young lady? Somebody want to explain this to me? Not that I necessarily want to know why. Look, but you are second in line to the throne of Great Britain, and what the heck are you doing here? Dude, seriously? Seriously. What was it all about? Well,
I was so young. Keelan woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince. And then night, Prince Andrew came to her house in London, and we went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. Prince Andrew was like, let's dance together. And I was like, okay. And we leave Club Tramp, and I hop in the car with Ghislaine and Jeffrey. And Ghislaine said he's coming back to the house. And I want you to do for him what you do for Epstein. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even royalty were involved.
Well, dear, we can all believe it now. TBA says, when they start releasing all the names of Congress critters that were close friends of Epstein, then we'll be getting somewhere. I saw something the other day, and I don't know if Julian Assange said this or not, but it's attributed to him. Julian Assange once made the statement that when all the information in the Epstein files, and by all information, I mean, when we find out who was associated with Jeffrey Epstein and what they may have done or did not do, according to what I saw, Julian Assange made the statement once that it will take down 90% of Washington, D.C. And again, I don't know if that quote is truly accurate and totally attributable to Julian Assange, but I would not be surprised at all if Assange said it and if it were actually true. Now, all this stuff is so many different things. Okay. It is, I mean, I can't even put words to it. It's disgusting. It's any number of things. But there is one humorous thing that came out yesterday, and I was listening to another commentator talk about this, and he had a really valid point. This guy always thought he was on top of the world because his wealth and power gave him access and influence, and now he is going to be the butt of everybody's joke for years to come. Did you guys know that Bill Gates asked Jeffrey Epstein for antibiotics? Why? Because Bill Gates had contracted some kind of an STD from Russian hookers. Here's the email. Look at this. And it's down here. It says, to add insult to the injury, you then implore me to please delete the emails regarding your STD. Your request, I provide you antibiotics that you can surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your man member. You've made it clear to me that I am not to refer to, as that is another topic that must remain between us. In return for all these requests, which I should have done without a second thought, I am not to attend meetings with Melinda. I should continue to provide the same level of service and dedication. I've done so diligently. Apparently, these two had a falling out. Quite the falling out. But before they did, or maybe during the falling out, Bill Gates had acquired some kind of, shall we say, extracurricular virus, and went so far as to ask Jeffrey Epstein for antibiotics to give to his then wife, Melinda Gates, because of what happened. And I'm sitting here going, wow, just wow, unbelievable. And by the way, it just goes to show you something. Well, you know, the virus gonna virus. Just saying. Wow. Half of them are still not released. That's a good question. That's a real good question. Hang on. But, that news story about Bill Gates just goes to prove one very important point. History is full of men who regretted going into Russia. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. One moment, please. Yep. And now add to the list Bill Gates, a man who truly regrets getting into Russia. So I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Oh boy. I want to go back to this for a second. More than half of these documents are still unreleased, in violation of federal law, by the way. In complete and total violation of federal law. Just think about that. Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna get the House and the Senate to vote for a bill that would release all the Epstein files. Gives a drop dead date to the Congress. President Trump signs it, and they're still not released. And this is probably why. This is probably why. Probably the case. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. All right. Okay. Good crowd still with us on X. Good crowd still with us on YouTube. Good crowd still with us over there on Rumble. And again, glad to have all you guys here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for being here this morning. You guys are totally the best. We got a bunch of people watch us on Rumble as well. So thank you for being here. It's genuinely appreciated. So let's get into some other news items. Now, for those of you who've never been here for the first time, hang on, we got one last question. I find it odd and suspicious that Bill Gates would need to ask Epstein for antibiotics. Doesn't he have labs all over the world? I hadn't thought about that, but you're absolutely right, Gypsy. Why is he even bothering to ask Epstein for this? Seriously? I mean, Bill Gates is known to have had factories all over the world producing antibiotics, for various things in Africa, etc. Why does he need to ask Jeffrey Epstein for this? That's a great question. Truly great question. Don't know. I don't know. Very interesting. And that's another good point. Shouldn't he have a doctor on? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Robert, you're right. You're right. Very true. Now, for those of you who have never been here before, and I'm particularly talking to the folks out there on X, there is a section of the show that we do that's referred to as HodgePodge Stew. Now, normally the stuff in HodgePodge Stew would be those lesser known items in the news that, kind of fly under the radar, but, they're either funny or interesting or what have you. And we'll talk about them. Well, some of the stuff we're going to be talking about in HodgePodge, really, I could have made them, main headlines but we're going to get into him anyway. Well, one of them I want to talk about is this whole Alex Pretty thing. No, I shouldn't say thing. The Alex Pretty situation. Okay. When Alex Pretty lost his life at the hands of some ICE agents, which, by the way, my take on it, Alex Pretty was disarmed of the gun that was on him. The gun has a history of, accidentally discharging. My theory on what happened, based on everything I'm hearing from people, the ICE agents disarmed him. The gun accidentally went off. With everything that already happened, the ICE agents heard the shot, thought that Pretty opened up with a second weapon, and then fired. The closest historical analogy that I could come to, by comparison, was the Boston Massacre. And if you remember anything about the Boston Massacre, there was a line of British soldiers out in front of the Boston Commons House, the counting house. They heard the words fire. They thought it was their captain who'd given them the order. The British soldiers opened up on the Boston protesters, killed a bunch of them. Turns out later they found out one of the protesters had slipped in behind the British soldiers, yelled fire, and it was a false order. Again, not exactly a perfect comparison, but you get my point. I don't think these guys went into it with malice aforethought, like, hey, let's kill a civilian in Minneapolis today. No, I don't think that's what they did. It wasn't Sam Adams. It was not Sam Adams, but it was his cousin John. It was John Adams who defended the British soldiers. And he did so on the grounds that every man or woman deserves a fair trial before the bar, regardless of who they are or what their circumstances, which was to John Adams' credit. I agree. The whole situation is a giant. Yeah, totally. Yeah, within seconds of each other. I mean, and Andrew Branca, who's a very famous attorney out on YouTube, and he's known his specialty is self-defense law, and he brings up a valid point. All these things are happening in seconds of each other. These guys have got to make snap decisions. Now, does that mean what they did was right? Absolutely not. But on the other hand, you can kind of understand where they're coming from here. But anyway, Alex Pretty. Oh, I think the left tried desperately to paint this guy to be the second coming of George Floyd. They have been trying to find George Floyd 2.0 out in Minneapolis and Minnesota for years now. And they thought they finally had it with this guy. Well, turns out Alex Pretty is not everything he was cracked up to be. The BBC here in America, their news division, found some video of an event that happened a couple of weeks earlier. And if you haven't seen this yet, I'm going to show you a couple of different angles on it. This guy right here is alleged to be Alex Pretty. And if this is the case, this blows up the whole, St. Alex theory. Check it out.
Look at you! Pepper spray, bitch! Look at you, motherfucker! Look at you! Fuck you guys! Fucking trash! Fucking trash!
Yeah, that's just one angle of it. Oh, I know. And I've heard Barnes's criticism of this. And don't get me wrong. I like Barnes in general. I really do. I just don't know that I totally agree with Barnes's take on this. And again, he's free to disagree with me for all I care. But Barnes is like, they never should have been. Well, okay, they should never been put in that place. But by the same token, that's where they were. They're not getting any help from the Minneapolis Police Department. They're not getting any help from the state police. They're not getting any help from the Minnesota National Guard. They've got a job to do, but on the other hand, somebody else brought up a real good point. You mean you couldn't have imported like 500 or 600 U.S. Marshals to help with crowd control? Seriously? I mean, why was ICE being expected to do all of this on their own? Crowd control, deportation efforts, arrests, etc. Why? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Hang on. TBA, what have you got there, brother? Hang on. We got a breaking news thing here. I got to see what this is. One moment, please. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Yeah, TB, I see it. I see it. Okay, I'm going to pop this up here for what it's worth. And, folks, never let it be said we do not try to share with you the late breaking. But TBA just found this. Bill Gates is reportedly on the run after a recent batch of Epstein files alleging possible criminal involvement with, quote, girls in Russia. There is no indication that he has returned to the United States after all, after attending the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. And this is a picture of Gates coming off of an airplane with another gentleman behind him. Oh my. Now, again, the poster on X is at U.S. News headquarters, official source for USA News only on Twitter. So, all right, take it for what it's worth. Could be true, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, if I were Bill Gates right now, I'd be laying low somewhere. I really would. Oh, wait a minute. He's at the Australian Open? Okay, well, all right. I can kind of see that. But if I were Bill Gates right now, I would not be anywhere near whatever the heck is going on. Seriously, I wouldn't. So, what? Did I say Twitter again? Oh, okay. Drank. Oh, Lord. Anyway, going back to Alex Pretty, here's the footage that the BBC found, and they put this up a few days ago. Here's some of it. It runs about 3 minutes. We're not going to play all of it, but here's another angle on what you just saw a second ago.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretty interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat, and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Preddy was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband. Here, he continues to stand at the scene. On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun.
Yeah, so the whole St. Alex theory, I'm not buying it. I am not buying it at all. Wait a minute. Now we got another thing coming in here. What's this? One moment, please. Hang on, guys. Oh yeah. Thank you for bringing this up, WG1, to show you how far the media was going. To show you how far the media was going in trying to construct the Saint Alex theory. Check this out, and WWG1 just provided this. MS Now shared AI manipulated Alex Preddy photo on TV, website, and YouTube. Here's what to know. Okay. That's true. The news network, known formerly as MSNBC, featured what is called AI-enhanced image on cable TV. A spokesperson for the parent company, Versant Media Group, told Snopes the network obtained the image from the internet without the knowledge someone had altered it, and said the network didn't enhance the photo itself. Oh my. Well, good. Yeah, so apparently this photo on the right is what they used. This one on the left is the real picture of Alex Preddy. Oh my. Goodness me. Tell you, every time you turn around, unbelievable. All right. Yeah, but yeah, they ran with it. They absolutely ran with it. Unbelievable stuff, man. Unbelievable stuff. All right. Ilhan Omar, the now famous attack. Okay. Yeah, really. And if you want a reason to not believe the media, here's one for it. Now, by now, everybody has seen the famous footage of what happened to Ilhan Omar this week. If you haven't, here is an 8-second clip. Okay. Watch this. Okay, now, a couple of comments. Man gets up, sprays her with a substance. Okay. We don't know what the substance is at the moment this is happening. My first reaction is, why didn't someone pull Ilhan Omar away and like get her into some kind of a crowd controlled area and like start doing some kind of protocols? We don't know what this substance was. Yeah, it turns out it wound up being apple cider vinegar. Okay. Now, there is some more to this whole story. And our friends of the Babylon Bee have found out that the foul-smelling substance used in the spray attack on Ilhan Omar was identified as Somali food. Yikes. That now, is that nice? Really? Was that really necessary, sir? I ask you. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on. Oy vey. Now, by the way, we also have another image, or another angle, I should say, of what happened. And for those of you who have not seen it yet, check this out.
Or face impeachment.
Hey, apparently this was way more serious than people realized. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, guys. This thing was like a whole setup. Now, there is one angle of this that people have not seen yet. This clip runs about 50 seconds. Okay.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Okay, let me back that up a second.
Secretary Kristi Noem must resign.
Now, she looks straight at this guy. Okay.
Must resign. Resign.
All right, right there. She's looking straight at the guy. Straight at him. Now, watch what happens next.
Or face impeachment. I don't know. Oh my God, he's sprayed something on us. I need a napkin to know nothing. No. You need to go get checked. We will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away with it. You need to go get checked. That's whatever it is smells so bad. She needs to go get checked. I don't know what that was. They want. It's not about him, Ilma.
Okay, so
Okay, but did she go get checked? Was anything done? Okay, that's my question. I don't believe there was anything done. As a matter of fact, there are some things that we found out. Central Casting, straight out of Central Casting. Apparently, here's a picture of Ilhan Omar and the attacker. Now, I'm sorry. If this guy hates Ilhan Omar so much, why is he having a picture taken with her? Seriously? Seriously. And a few other things about all this, okay? We come to find out, they're trying to paint this guy to be some kind of a right-wing attacker. Turns out he's got kids who are trans, and on and on and on. I'm not buying it. I am not going to buy it. This thing was, I'm with TBA, staged, 100% stage. Yeah, and she didn't get away from the podium. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Did not realize that according to the rules set down in the press in the Summer of Love. Okay. My bad. Same shirt as the instant looked AI faked. Could be. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's so much about this that makes no sense. Now, apparently though, Ilhan Omar was taken to the hospital after the incident did take place, and she was treated. And believe it or not, well, being a congresswoman, there is some footage of this. So check this out.
Well.
What is it? Did you find something?
As a matter of fact, I did, Ilhan.
What did you find?
I found your brain.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. Where is it?
It's in your intestines.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it looks like it's been down there for quite a long time.
Can you get it out?
Unfortunately, no. Your brain has now fused with your intestines, and I've got no choice but to diagnose you with shit for brains.
Oh, I've got shit for brains?
Yeah, and unfortunately, that diaper you've been wearing on your head,
Yes?
that was only hiding your condition.
Oh, my brother is going to be so upset. Is it curable?
No, I'm sorry. There's no cure for shit for brains.
So will I ever be normal again?
Sure. I mean, people have lived long lives with shit for brains.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, look at you. I mean, 43 years of shit for brains, and look at you.
Well, I didn't realize that there were long-term consequences out of all this, but apparently Ilhan Omar has shit for brains. Who knew? It's truly, truly a tragic thing. Truly. Now, Gypsy sent me something a little bit earlier. It's Ilhan Omar related. If I can find it here real fast. Yeah. Here it is. I got to play this for you guys, or some of it anyway. Ilhan Omar's husband, okay? Ilhan Omar's husband runs an investment firm, okay? And supposedly that investment firm has helped drive their collective net worth, Ilhan and her husband's net worth, up to about $30 million. But there's just one funny thing about this investment firm. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, here's a clip from Fox Business. I'm sorry. Check this out.
Okay, that was far-left Congresswoman Ilhan Omar claiming the Justice Department and Congress probing her skyrocketing wealth to $30 million in just 1 year, that they have a problem with her living the American dream. You heard her say the goddamn United States of America. We've got new questions on where she and her husband got all that money. Joining us now, Forbes Media Chair, Editor-in-Chief Steve Forbes. Steve, new information coming in, and Forbes magazine, your magazine, has reported this too, that the state of Delaware and Washington, D.C. canceled the registrations for Omar's husband's investment firm, Rose Lake, for not paying its back taxes. We saw it owed more than $400,000 to Delaware and nearly $1,800 to D.C. She's claiming it's worth $25 million from less than $1,000 a year before. How can his investment firm not afford to pay taxes? It's supposedly worth an estimated $75 million to $150 million. This is really weird stuff.
Well, weird is not the word for it. There's another word for it called crooked. And that's why we have to have an investigation into this. As you know, the Biden administration started examining and that of her husband. And so surprise, surprise, that investigation went nowhere. But it's amazing how people can go into Congress and then become these entrepreneurial investing geniuses, where they come in, she had under $1,000 of net worth and her husband didn't have much. And suddenly now they're multimillionaires. Is there a money laundering operation here? And in terms of the firms themselves, they have a sketchy background. That winery in California that she and her husband own, where did that come from? Where's the wine there? And nobody can seem to find it. So there's a lot of smelly stuff here, and that's why in the American Dream, her version of the American Dream is the Al Capone version of the American Dream, Tony Soprano version of the American Dream, and that is steal it.
I'm telling you guys, I am telling you now, if they do a serious, credible investigation of her, do not be shocked at all. Do not be shocked at all if you got enough there to get her thrown in jail. Who was it? Was it Rob? Was it Robert? Or was it Lana who said earlier, there's something about that whole continent when it comes to Somalis as a nationality? They are great at grift, at stealing, at corruption. I mean, I forget who was it who said it, but I saw it earlier in chat. Man, I wholeheartedly concur. wholeheartedly. All right, one last thing in HodgePodge, and I'm going to chalk this one up to just Trump being. Oh, it was okay. That's what I thought. I thought it was you, dear. I'm telling you right now, the Somalis make the gangster era look like a bunch of pikers. Yeah, yeah, really, truly. Well, okay, that's true. Okay, it's a tag team effort. All right, one last item, and we'll go and let you guys have the rest of your Sunday. Remember when I said a minute ago I couldn't tell if Trump was senile, dumb, or whatever? He made a comment during one of his cabinet meetings, and I'm sitting here going, brother, you are not helping yourself. And I heard this, and I was like, I got to play this. Check this out.
Existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. We're going to make it easy.
Huh? Hang on a minute. I got to back this up. I got to hear this from the top.
Existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. We're going to make it easier to buy. We're going to get interest rates down. But I want to protect the people that for the first time in their lives feel good about themselves. They feel like that they're wealthy people. And I want them to understand it. There's so much talk about, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for people that own their homes. And they can be assured that's what's going to happen.
Okay. Now that I've heard this in full context, I can kind of understand what he's getting at. He just doesn't say it very well. As far as the value of the houses are concerned, as far as the value is concerned, he wants to keep the values up. As far as the prices are concerned, to get in, he wants to drive them down. Now, how he's going to do that, I have no idea. But it's stuff like this more and more. Yeah, really. Really. Well, I appreciate you thinking that I'm an expert, but I am not. That's a good question, Gypsy. That's a real good question. No idea. No idea at all. Just completely crazy. There's something that Congress needs to enact into law, not just talk about it either. I'm with you on that one, Robert. All right. We're going to bring the train into the station. Thank you guys very much for being here this morning and now this early part of the afternoon for this thing we call Front Porch Brunch. Thank you for the memes. Thank you for the stories. Thank you for the late breaking news. Thank you for everything. We are so glad you're here. Well, Zippy, we're even glad you came late. But we're still glad you're here. Thank you for contributing your presence, if nothing else. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, we had a really good crowd on Rumble. We had a really good crowd on X. We had a really good crowd on YouTube. Glad all of you are here. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning. We'll be back soon. I'm thinking about doing a live stream sometime in the middle of the week, if nothing else, to kind of catch everything up or work on catching everything up. So keep your eyes open for that. I think I'll do one Tuesday evening because Super Bowl weekend's coming up next weekend. So we'll see how all that shakes out. But anyway, love you guys very much. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Remember, if you're not subscribed to my channel on YouTube and Rumble, please subscribe. Thank you this morning for the memberships, the super chats, the super stickers, all greatly appreciated. And you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And please remember the words of that great American philosopher, Tom T. Hall, when he said the following: "It's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, and more money." Love you guys very much. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.